Hey everybody, my name is Bob Dylan. I could really use your help identifying these here handcuffs. They're just a complete unknown. I don't know, maybe the answer's just blowing in the wind. And this one I found on Maggie's farm, but I don't work there no more. I don't know where these came from. They must have been tangled up in blue or red or yellow or something like that. I really don't know. And that gave me the idea for Tambourine Man. Maybe I'm just knocking on heaven's door, but I'm hoping you can help me. Like a rolling stone. Sorry about that. Bob hasn't been the same since the movie started streaming. Okay, today we're gonna look at cuffs that I have no idea what they are, and I'm hoping that you guys can help me by identifying these. If you have them in your collection, if you've seen them listed somewhere, whatever, please let me know in the comments. I'd really like to have identifications for these cuffs. Now, I've done previous episodes with mystery leg irons, but today I just picked out a few examples of the unknown unmarked cuffs to look at. Okay, we're going to take the oddball first, which the only thing I know is that it is German, because I've seen similar ones marked as German origin in catalogs and auction sales and other people's collections and everything. I believe at one point it was plated, because there's just some shiny parts and certain lights that come through, but I'm not sure if this is the original key or what, but it's just what came with it. Now it works exactly the same principle as the American lily irons. There's a square nut in there, you unscrew it, there's the threaded other end. There's a little gap there, I don't know why, but I mean it's very simple operation, but there's no markings whatsoever. And I can't remember where. I think I got this at a lock shelf. If you sold it to me and you're a fellow collector, I'm sorry. I just, it was probably a hectic weekend. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to move on to the Darbies. Now this pair, the only markings on these are it says wrought, so it probably says warranted before that, but it's worn off, and hard. The key that came with it just says number 27 on both sides. There's no 27 on these cuffs. I got these at a gun show years ago from a lady who was selling her late father's estate, and she was just going to he was mostly a gun collector, so she was just going on the circuit until she finished selling everything that he owned and left her. So that was basically it. She didn't know anything about any of the items really, but she did have, knowledge about the guns. And she said that at a previous show in another state, she sold the matching leg irons. I don't know why they didn't buy both, and I don't know if there was any markings on it. She had no memory whatsoever. But what really confuses me is the center link. I'm not sure if that's a later edition or what, but it has age to it. I mean, and there's no separation. You can tell that these things are old, basically. And I've compared the lock cases and the shapes and every little bit that I could think of to, marked brands like Hyatt's and Froggett's and Dowlers and all them, and they just don't really fit any of the molds. So I have no idea what they are. And if you do, please let me know. Then we go on to these that are completely unmarked, but they almost have that coating to make them waterproof. Not really. It's a really weird surface on these things. It's not really nickel. I can't identify them, and I've looked at them almost microscopically and can't find any markings. And all of these, by the way, are pretty much standard Darby size, the same as the Hyatt 104s or whatever it is, for comparison's sake. There's nothing strange about the sizes. They're not unusual. Both cuffs are matching. So I just have no idea what these are, because I only have a few pairs that are coated like this, but the other one is damaged. The end caps are missing, and it's pretty much the same, but there's no markings whatsoever, and I'm not familiar with any other maker that had this coating on there. So that's the only question. I mean, it could be a Hyatt that's just unmarked and it's somebody spray painted in the 1920s. Who knows? But if you have anything similar, let me know. And finally, in the cuff section, and let me remind you that I did other videos on leg irons that were unmarked and unknown, so please check them out. And these, I'm not sure if somebody identified these for me before or not, but they have this really weird key with a triangular shape, almost like from the Byzantine Empire. I always think of that. And, you know, it's standard Darby, but you know what? There's not really much of a bump at the end of the end cap there. And of course, there's only two links holding them together. And the posts actually extend out a little bit further. So I'm not sure what they are. There's a big chunk taken out of them. Again, no markings, and it's a very distinctive tapering right here where it meets the hinge. So they're a really pretty streamlined looking cuff. I'm not sure. And if it's just something I overlooked on one of the websites, you know, on handcuffs.org or whatever, forgive me. I just was going through the drawers today and saw them and said, you know what, I just don't remember it. It's just not clicking. So I thought maybe you guys could help me. And then finally, I featured this a long time ago. These, I don't know what they are, but I just bought them because they're marked Hyatt and they have the numbers 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, and 3. They're really hard to read because they're, you know, not only am I wearing glasses, but they're also kind of faint with age. And also the 2 is facing the other way when you spin them. It's on this little stand almost. I think, were they tools on some workman's bench for some reason? I don't know. What could these possibly be? Are they wrenches? It almost looks like, you know, today's Allen wrench sets, you know, that you get with furniture or whatever, where there's like all the different sizes for the different. No idea. Are they for stamping? I don't know. Do you know? Please let me know. And these, and it says Hyatt on the bottom. But this I picked up as an oddity online. I just saw it and I said, whoa, that says Hyatt. I'm going to snag that. And I don't even remember what it was listed as. I couldn't pass it up because it says Hyatt and I have no idea what it is. And I also, this is how it came. I don't know if there's a nut that's missing here. Because, you know, that's sort of sticky with age. And I'm not going to try cleaning them or whatever because all the markings are visible with a loupe and a magnifying glass. So there's no reason for me to clean them. So again, if you have any idea what this is, please let me know. This has been driving me crazy for years because I didn't get any answers last time, so I guess nobody knew. So anyway, that does it for this week's Off the Cuff. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please tune in again next week. Don't forget to subscribe, share, do all that stuff. And I think I got to take little Bosco and Mr. Bean out for a walk now, even though it's raining. But anyway, we'll see you next time. a complete